frightened warrior.
He sees the war in front of his eyes and can do nothing about it. Are we on?
Yeah, I totally. That's why I wanted you to repeat it.
Yeah, no. We are currently paused in Starship Troopers, and Casper Van Diem, aka Johnny Rico, has a look in his eyes. He's about to go to war, and he has the whole war in front of him. The fear, the doubt, the fight is in front of him. His friends, everything's relying on him. He's Atlas right now. The world's on his shoulders. It's an incredible look.
He's also suffering from Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru syndrome.
Oh yeah. It's
right
true.
now.
Everyone's gone.
Buenos Aires is gone.
It's all a big rock took it out, and poor Johnny, man, he lost his girlfriend. Dude, that's crazy. He got stripped of everything. He got stripped because he was.
Well, let's hold off for a second before we come back to the movie. We're in the middle of Starship Troopers, but this is Screen Talkers, and we're in beautiful tropical Providence, Rhode Island right now, John.
So humid here. Ugh.
It's there's palm trees, there's an ocean.
Welcome. I mean, this is the
Atlantis.
paradise. This is the American paradise. Welcome to Rhode Island.
So last time I had you on, John, you were over in my basement.
I love your basement. It's very well made.
Thanks. And now we're in your living room at your place in Providence. We're going big time.
I would reciprocate and show you my basement, but I don't have one. So here we are in my living room, where I do most of my living.
And yeah, I think it's named quite appropriately then.
I believe so.
But thanks for having me here. I know I drove out all the way just for the podcast.
I love you, man. I was waiting for you the whole time, the whole drive. I said we're gonna do this podcast, nothing else. Starship Troopers is just a bonus.
I'd also say The Fifth Element was also a bonus.
Oh my God, The Fifth Element. Leeloo Dallas, Multipass, so hot. I mean, it's a good movie, yeah, but like she's so hot, so hot.
So, I mean, we're here. John, last time we had John, we had a great discussion about Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Great discussion.
Spider-Man. You make it sound like a Jewish guy. Spider-Man. Beakerman. Spider-Man.
And we're actually seeing Homecoming tomorrow.
I am so excited about that. Yeah. I hope you are, too. I mean...
Well, yes. I love these Marvel movies.
There was so much talk and so much anticipation for this movie. Hopefully, it's going to be good. I mean, Michael Keaton... You heard the last podcast, Michael Keaton. Jesus,
it's his second rendition of Birdman. It's Birdman Part 2.
It's just he was born for the role. Batman just wasn't fitting for him, and he had to do. Actually, he did two Batmans. He did. Batman and Batman Returns. So this is Birdman and Birdman Returns. Homecoming. I mean Spider-Man Homecoming.
We can go with Birdman Homecoming if we really want to.
We're gonna call it that.
So look, we're both pumped about seeing that. I've seen nothing but good reviews. Apparently, it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
These Marvel movies are good, man. They know what they're doing at this point, you know?
I saw something. I don't think this is a spoiler because they've been saying this all throughout social media and movie websites. But apparently Star Trek has a cameo in this movie, which makes Star Trek part of the Marvel Universe now.
What?
Yeah. So We'll have to wait until we see it tomorrow. I haven't clicked the links to read it. But I'm very curious.
I hope I don't miss it. Like that, when someone tells me something that big about a movie, I'm so afraid that I'm going to overlook it by either blinking or sneezing. So hopefully it's a substantial amount of proof.
I think it's going to be one of those quick things because, as we know, from just the trailers of Spider-Man, he has Star Wars figurines in his room. When he's crawling across his roof, his buddy drops the Death Star. So there's a Star Wars reference. I think that's what we're going to have for Star Trek also. A very small thing.
Well, Marvel's always science fiction, so even in the comic books, you get a lot of that. Like, they always talk about Star Trek because that is, like, the pioneer and the most famous, like, media for science fiction, the medium, where everyone knows Star Trek. You know Kirk, you know Picard. Kirk rules. So, you know, it's really common in the comics, so it's only natural that it comes out in the movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and to kind of speak about space, we're going to talk about two great science fiction films.
The Final Frontier. It seems like everyone's going out there.
And in the 90s, we did. There isn't a doubt about that at all. We, especially with the two movies today, The Fifth Element and Starship Troopers, we went there.
I got to say that I watched Starship Troopers probably like 50 times as a kid. I watched The Fifth Element over and over and over on the cusp of manhood and, you know, falling in love with Leeloo Dallas. But watching them as adults, something very different about the movie. Something like
Yes.
I mean, I'm still sexually aroused by Mila Jovovich, but still, there's more meaning to them, and I think we're gonna get into that today.
Yeah, we will. There was a huge difference. I agree. From watching these movies as a kid to watching them as adults, I did not feel the same.
No.
At all.
No.
It's almost like my brain is finding everything wrong with these movies.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
This is the same thing that happened to me when I was younger. I wanted to be a professional wrestler when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I went and I trained for it, got to live it for a very brief amount of time. But then if I ever went back to watch it, since I knew how to do moves and trained, all I saw were the flaws on TV.
Yeah.
And I think because I'm older and have watched so much film that I'm not the same 10-year-old who's amazed by everything.
I get it. Well, I'll give you my perspective on it. For example, like Starship Troopers, where they dodged the meteor, right? And then they couldn't call command because their satellites were down. If they could dodge the meteor, they could outrun the meteor. So why don't you just turn around, head back to Earth, and say, "Hey, that meteor's coming." So I get the flaws, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. But as an adult movie watcher, I kind of am a fan of the movie genre, and when a director and a writer has to create a story that is cohesive, you kind of lose the logic a little bit, just to make the drama survive, the drama thrive. So I think that's what happens when you get those little inconsistencies. You kind of just have to say, hey, does it make the story better? Yeah, the girl falls down a well and she gets caught at the last second, or he's hanging on by a thread. Like, those things don't make sense, but it makes that story happen. Like, that coincidence. There's a lot of coincidences in 90s movies, if you noticed.
But so you just want to jump into Starship Troopers right now, then?
Oh, well, Casper Van Dien was staring at me, so I I think we kind of have to.
Okay. So to kind of go into that asteroid really quick, was there repercussions between Rico and Carmen for that asteroid? Because we know that she's like, check out my flight plan. I'm so smart with the way I can maneuver through space. And then all of a sudden there's an asteroid. They dodge it. They can't communicate back because of the signal loss.
Yep.
So Buenos Aires is destroyed. But is there any character loss between Rico and Carmen for the fact that she found the asteroid, which then killed their home? True. Did that do anything between the two characters, or did they just bypass that back to Rico and Mr. Other Football Player hating each other?
Xander, he's a cool character, actually. But no, I think instead of her seeing the asteroid and not doing anything about it, I think because of her plot change, as much as I want to put the blame on her for finding it, because she changed the plot, they were able to find the asteroid, but they weren't able to contact anybody about it. That's storytelling right there. I don't think that it was her fault they crashed into it, but the fact that they found it, was because of her. But she didn't get any credit for it, so they just bypassed that completely. But
so they never, because you watched this movie the other day.
I did.
I watched half of it this morning.
Yeah.
Up until where we're talking about.
Yeah.
I just can't remember the small details. So later when they meet, there isn't anything with them, and she's like, I'm the one that found the asteroid. He's like, wait, and you didn't do anything about it? There isn't anything like that?
Nothing
he's
like
I
that.
hate you. You killed my parents.
Basically, he was mad at her because she had broken up with him on their last video message. He sent her like 3 in the movie.
I'm in space and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Johnny, I think I'm going to go career.
Yeah, seriously. like he's sending her, hey, I miss you so much. Hey, I love you so much. And then the next one, he's like, look at all my friends. I love you so much. He sends her 3 videos. She sends him one back and says, oh, hey, I love it out here. By the way,
you're never going to see me again.
Dear John letter, right? And for all intents and purposes, we're never going to be together. We can't be together. And it's like a 10-second video. Like, that just shows how much he cared about her and she didn't care back. So that was a great way to progress that non-relationship that they have.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let's kind of go. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh, we are. It's so much fun to talk about this, though.
I know. So Starship Troopers, we are at war with a bug species on the other side of our galaxy.
Other side, yep.
And they are hurling meteors because they have an infinite supply
of rocks.
Of a meteor around their planet.
That's right. You do remember the movie.
Well,
then.
I just said it.
Okay. You just saw it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Gotcha.
And they are hurling them across the galaxy, and they are landing on our planet, giving us bugs, and also populating other planets throughout the galaxy.
Yes, that is true.
we don't like bugs because when they get in our homes, we want to squash on them.
Oh, yeah.
So other than that, we just have no reason to hate them, I don't think.
That's a good point. They invade our homes, so they're invading Earth, our home, kind of like a spider comes into your cupboards. That's a good point. So you just tapped onto something genius there. You were made for movies, Tim. You really were.
Well, I mean, you gotta think of the propaganda video we saw of all the kids smashing the bugs, and the mom was clapping, and she was super happy.
Oh,
I'm so proud of you children.
Those are my favorite parts of this movie, is when they do the war propaganda, because it makes you, the march of war. Like, they make you feel like you're part of it, like this is all going on right now, and it's technically like a website, right? You can see the clicker going over, and would you like to know more?
Yeah, click on the hyperlinks to other sections and everything.
That's awesome, and like you follow Johnny Rico's story through that's a great storytelling frame, if you will.
It was the thing, I guess, that I enjoyed that a lot of films don't do is it gave you the background.
It did.
So now I know why we're at war with these bugs, and I can understand the situations.
Oh yeah.
So we got that going on, and then, like you said, we have our main character, Johnny Rico. And we have a 35-year-old man playing a high school student.
Yes, I think they're all pretty
They are
old.
all very old.
Like I think Diz's character, the actor was on Friends as an adult, playing like a 29-year-old adult, and now she's 16-year-old.
Carmen Electra, is that what you're talking about?
No, the girl who's Diz, the one with the curly hair.
She was in Friends?
She was in Friends. She dated Joey for like 3 episodes. They were actors, and she was
we just watched Friends last year. I don't remember that.
Yeah, she was sleeping with everybody, and he's like, I can't be with you. She was trying to further her career.
I can just see it now. How you doing?
I think she's attractive. I don't know what it is. It's that jawline or something. She's just... Maybe that's why I like these movies as a kid so much. It was the sex appeal. Maybe that's what it was.
Was this the first time you ever had a boner?
I don't know. I might. I think I can attribute that to Lilu. And I was like, oh my god, she's wearing Band-Aids as a dress. I love this.
So we have Johnny. We have all of our characters are in high school, including Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes.
And I guess this is where, as a kid, I thought it was great because I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to be like in high school.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a star football player. Then I can go to the other side of the galaxy and save the world.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a coming-of-age story, I guess you could say.
I think
and with consequences.
Yeah, I think it's great because, like you said, they are coming out of high school. They're playing football. Xander's actually on the opposing team, if you remember. He's like...
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He dove for Rico, and Rico did a sweet front flip to avoid him.
But you can tell, like...
Hey, don't talk to my girl.
And then he goes over and, like, casually, hey there, But you can tell Rico's mentality is everything's important in high school, just his girlfriend, everything else. Everybody else is aspiring to be, grown up, to go join the Federation, become a citizen. One of my favorite parts right after that high school scene, because they're kind of still adolescent, is that's their last night before they go to boot camp. Like, They don't have that summer, well, let's have a summer of fun. They just have to go right after that prom. And then when they're in boot camp, you remember the shower scene? They're all in the shower. They're all talking about what they want to do.
That shower scene is why when this movie came out in the 90s and I asked my parents if I could go see it, if they would take me, the answer was no.
Boobs?
Because of boobs.
Boobs.
Because of boobs.
You can see that one dude's like junk too. Shizumi? That's not cool. Like that, they just showed that out out.
There's tons of taters in that scene.
Tater tots.
And that is why I was never allowed to see this movie in the theater. But if you remember back in the 90s, I think we might have talked about it last time, black boxes.
You can
get for your home.
Yeah.
This was always on the pay-per-view channels, which we got because of the black box.
Back.
And I used to sit there and wait for my parents to leave so I could watch Starship Troopers because of the goddamn boobs.
I gotta watch 116 minutes till I get to boobs again. That's what, as soon as the boobs end, it's a 118-minute movie. 116 minutes later, you got 2 more minutes of boob, man. That's what it was all about. But about that scene, everyone's talking about what they want to do. I want to be a reporter. I want to be in politics. I want to go career. Gary Busey's disgusting-looking son. Was it Jake Busey? Oh, that smile haunts my dreams.
I feel like Jake Busey plays the same character in this that he does in the movie Contact with Jodie Foster.
He does.
It's like the exact same, the religious fanatic who blows up that spaceship.
Oh yeah.
So,
but he plays a different character in Tomcats. Have you ever watched Tomcats?
I haven't.
That's a movie that's really weird. It's all comedy, but it's... I think I like this role in him because he looks like a jarhead. He looks like some military buff. It looks like it works for him. I like him, but
he fits what his dad said in the movie. Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves.
Point Break.
Point Break.
Oh my god.
His son in this movie was young, dumb, and full of cum.
Well, that's a great reference. The smile though, I think that he keeps smiling whenever it's like, you know, you got it, yeah, and just smiles at you. That works for him in this movie because he like breaks the tension. He makes me laugh, but he's so god awful ugly, so terrible.
Huh. I'm looking through the facts of this movie. I'm finding some things very interesting.
What are you finding?
In the novel.
I
didn't realize that this was a novel.
Oh yeah, it has to be. It was well written.
Dizzy is a man.
Gross. Gross. That's a strong jawline. That's why she got casted.
Yeah, I think that's why you enjoy her so much.
Oh, she's so hot though. I can't.
Almost every military uniform in this movie has World War II German military and SS paramilitary uniform references.
So that's what I wanted to get into.
And the flag of the Federation has a symbol which closely resembles the Imperial Eagle from World War II Germany.
So you were asking me earlier why everyone's blonde-haired and blue-eyed in Buenos Aires, right?
Wait a minute. No. Okay. I'm getting where you're going now.
Do you see where it's going?
Okay. So prior to recording, I was asking John this question. So to go back to how we started with an asteroid.
You said, why are all these Argentinians from Buenos Aires blonde-haired and blue-eyed?
Pure-blooded American. And in my mind, I'm like, this is like a Los Angeles 1990s high school story.
That's exactly what I thought, too.
And it didn't make sense to have it take place in Buenos Aires.
There's a theory, and now I think the book actually confirms it. There's a theory that the world is set after the Germans won World War II. So, do you realize that Neil Patrick Harris his character has to go through
shit.
Think
of him wearing, oh my god.
Right?
Holy shit.
So, they were in South America, right? Most people escaped to South America. They had bases in South America, so they just continued and took over. And that's why everyone's blonde-haired, blue-eyed, strong. You see these high school kids, they're jacked, they're all big, they're all like smart.
This makes so much sense why the actors have to look the way they do.
Do you remember that though? They said that we're testing people in your area for psychic abilities. Neil Patrick Harris was doing the test. There you go. They did that in World War II. They were trying to find supernatural abilities, and the uniforms were all, like you said, Hugo Boss. They're all World War II, and that Federation does have an eagle on it. And you saw how they were sitting in like that whole hall thing. Yeah, man.
I never put that together until
that crazy?
You just said this.
And then the Federation, you have to have a license to have kids. Remember, the girl says, "I want to have babies," which is why I want to be a citizen. All those rules, all those regulations to make people better. You can't even be in politics without having joined the Federation. The regime, the 15th Reich. I think it's in the future, right? Yeah, there you go.
Holy shit! This changes everything.
Isn't that crazy though? War-based society. It's set there. No one's worshiping Hitler openly, but like it's set in a time where they took over and their ideals like were able to evolve and move on.
Now, knowing that I haven't watched this movie in 12 or 13 years, I never put this stuff together.
Did it just get better for you?
A little bit.
See, that's what I mean. As a kid, you're like, oh, everyone's naked in the shower. And then as an adult, you're like, Hitler won, and now we're fighting bugs. Crazy, right? The movies. I'm telling you.
You better be able to do this for me for Fifth Element when we get to that.
I don't think I can. We should have saved this one for last. I don't think I can. I don't know what to say about that. The Japanese one, and that's when we have flying cars. World
Free
War
lunch
II.
for you, Mr. Dallas.
Yes. Because you see good and bad.
Apparently, also, Mark Wahlberg turned down the role of Johnny Rico.
Thank God.
Could you imagine if he came on the screen and he looked at Carmen Electra? He would have been like, hey, how you doing? You doing good?
Yeah, hey, I'm Johnny Rico. I love...
I'm going to go punch a bug in the face.
I love Mark Wahlberg now.
Look good, feel good.
That's good stuff. I like Mark Wahlberg now. I don't think he would have been good in this movie. Casper Van Diem did an amazing job. I hope he's out there listening, Casper. He's just awesome, man. Just out of nowhere, it blew my mind as a kid. Blowing my mind in this decade. A beautiful, beautiful role. Man. And it wasn't Carmen Electra. It was Denise Richards, actually. That's what you're thinking.
Oh my God, did I say Carmen Electra?
Once. You said Denise Richards earlier.
Okay, so to avoid using the wrong celebrity name, I'm going to stick with Christmas Jones.
Christmas.
Because that was her name in the Bond movie.
Christmas comes twice, huh?
Christmas comes twice a year.
Oh.
But the to kind of go off on that tangent really quick, it was it The World's Not Enough? Yes, because it was the movie where he's trying to protect the king girl with the oil pipes who was kidnapped, Electra King. And Denise Richards' name is Christmas Jones.
Christmas Jones.
She, if I remember correctly, she is a Russian physicist.
Yeah, she didn't do a good job.
No accent.
She's hot.
And her Russian name is Christmas Jones.
Yep. Yeah. What?
It's not a Russian name.
She would have been better with Ivana Hump a lot. Like, from the one from Austin Powers. Like, that would have just worked.
So.
Sex pun.
And as we were sitting here, you were sleeping earlier this morning when we were watching it. Every time Denise Richards came on the screen. And then the other girl, Dizzy.
Yeah.
I felt that Dizzy was way more attractive.
Oh, yeah.
Than Christmas Jones.
Oh, yeah.
And I kept saying that out loud. My wife's like, "You're weird." I was like, "No, I don't find her attractive in this movie."
Denise Richards is attractive, but in this movie, this is situational, conditional. In this movie, she's sitting there wide-eyed and stupid. Her lines are delivered like, but she wants Johnny Rico's pre-seminal fluid now. She wants Johnny Rico so bad that she's giving him the sexy eye the whole movie. So when you get that first-person view, that sexy eye, that does something to your chemical, like your arousal compounds in your body, and it just starts to explode, man. It just happens. She's giving you the sexy eye. She wants it bad, and you're Johnny Rico in this movie because you got that first-person shot. So that's why I think she's attractive. Even with her man jaw, she still could get it. Oh.
So to go back to Germany,
I'm
going through some fact trivia on IMDb. Casper Van Dien
is German.
Says he was often asked why he was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed actor who played the Argentinian Juan Rico.
Yeah.
He suggests his character was a descendant of exiled Germans. Argentina was famously a hiding place of German war criminals after World War II.
Exactly.
So that's a little different. Not that they won, but they were families of war criminals.
Could you imagine trying to tell people, though, oh, yeah, we're all Nazis? That movie would have gotten shot down left and right. It's a great tool for fiction, but some people can't tell the difference between fiction and just like fun fiction and just like, oh, what are they supporting Nazis now or something like that? So
man, that's crazy,
right?
That changes the entire movie for me right there.
And even if they were descendants, even if World War II, Nazis lost, somehow, some way in the future, someone could have readapted their fighting techniques, their the rules of their society, and maybe made it better. That could still be reminiscent, of, and that's still great. I'll take it either way. But you see the Nazi thing going on,
and now it makes sense with propaganda videos.
Exactly. And it never changed. See that?
I'm doing my part. Yeah,
I'm doing my part too. Would you like to know more? Yeah, that's great stuff. And I think those serve the whole movie. The whole tone is set by those movies. Those little propaganda films. Awesome.
But now getting a better understanding of the background of the movie changes the entire movie for me.
Isn't it? Doesn't it?
So now that, like,
mind blown.
That independent film of Nazis that take over the moon.
Yep.
You know what movie I was talking about there? It either came out on YouTube or Netflix. There was some random film about Nazis that go to the moon during World War II. And they populate the moon.
Never seen that.
We have to go stop them. But now that makes sense.
That's
there's an entire halo around the moon for defense in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really played into these theories.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Doesn't that change everything? How many goosebumps do you have right now?
None.
I'm covered in them.
I have none.
There's so much. Because, like, you watch a movie and then someone says, the Nazis never lost the war, and you're like, oh my god, the movie changed. Like, the movie's different, mind blown. Your mind is tackling all these other little these things you noticed before, the uniforms, the Federation flag.
Makes me also really want to go play Wolfenstein.
Castle Wolfenstein.
Did you play the new one that came out on the Xbox and PlayStation?
No, I didn't.
Actually really good. And the next one's coming out soon too. They're actually very good.
Nice.
So alright, I mean, I don't know if I can top German references anymore with this movie.
No, it's
because I also don't remember what happens.
Movie's really good. They try to go after the brain bug, I guess. Remember that?
I do, like the Queen Hive.
It has a vagina on the front. It comes out with the stinger and it sucks your brains out. It's just,
that's the clitoris.
Yeah, it has to be. Sucks your insides out. He goes, "Whoa!"
That's the mythical. That's the whispering eye right there.
That they just have to capture the hive mind, and that was the premise of the story, and it was good. Johnny learned everything along the way. You join for the wrong reasons. You make your mistakes. You try to go home. You lost your girlfriend. Nothing is what it seems, and he became a great soldier. That's a great story. That is the underdog. Because in the beginning, I don't feel bad for him. He's just a rich kid. It's like, oh, whatever. And then
they call him that too. They call him Rich Boy.
Yeah, Rich Boy. He got everything handed to him. He has a hot girlfriend that doesn't care about him back. He's just a punk. And then greatness thrust upon him, like the great Shakespeare said. And here he is, killing bugs, leading squads. Gary Busey's son's his best friend.
Who plays the violin.
Oh, why does he do it? He smiles while he does smile on his face. Oh my god, Jake Busey. Just don't listen to this show. I'm not going to be nice to you.
I don't think Jake Busey's ever going to listen to this.
He might be. I mean, what else is he doing? No offense, Jake Busey.
He's doing a lot more than we are, probably.
Probably not. Wally, you have to go. Let me put him away. Wally, come on, buddy.
We have Wally barking as John's little wiener dog.
No, the whole thing is that he just... Come on, buddy. Go. Good boy. The whole thing is that he knows his ball's under the couch, and he'll remember, you know, we recorded for like 45 minutes already?
26.
26 minutes later, he just goes, hey, I want that ball, randomly, and then barks at it like it's going to come to him. So he's the last Jedi dog. That's what he is.
Alright, so let's switch. Let's switch films.
No, not yet.
Not yet?
No, we still have so much to cover.
I don't remember what else to cover, though, because I haven't seen it.
I was just telling you about Zim, right? You saw that Johnny Rico's try to quit because of his corporal punishment.
Oh, yes. So Johnny Rico was promoted to squad leader because of his awesome football skills on the field.
Yeah, that's true. Well put.
And then they went into live ammunition training, and one of his what do you call it? His grunts? Is that the right term?
One of his troops
has a helmet malfunction, and in the middle of a live battle, he removes the helmet to fix it. One of his other teammates gets hit with a laser, has a nerve reaction, and a bullet goes through the guy's head because he doesn't have his helmet on. So Johnny Rico was stripped of his promotion.
I just love how the drill sergeant Zim goes, Rico, you are relieved of squad command!
As everyone's running to save this guy's life, he's demoting him out loud.
Yeah, exactly. And they zoom up. That's a great shot. And Zim... in the beginning, you know, he throws a knife through Jake Busey's hand, and he's like,
your enemy cannot use the bomb if they cannot use their hand.
Yeah, exactly. They cannot push a button. He's a teacher, and they hate him at first, and he becomes like, you know how that whole base camp thing goes. You hate your drill sergeant, then you love your drill sergeant. He's a great tool, and I love Zim. That's his name, Drill Sergeant Zim. So when they go into the office, right after that. After Rico gets like 10 lashes of corporal punishment, you can hear Zim saying that he wants to be in the fight. And his commanding officer says no, that the only way you're going to see combat is if you bust yourself back to private. And his response is silence. Rico comes busting in, I want to be a soldier again because my whole family was in Buenos Aires, right? You already signed your DD-42, you can't quit, he says. Right? Remember that?
I do.
And Zim comes up from behind him and says, is this your signature, son? He said, yes, sir, it is. And he rips it in front of him. Right? That seems like an action that would demote you back to private. Don't you think? I think so. You don't remember because you haven't seen it recently, but Zim is the guy who captures the bug at the end of the movie. So they don't show Zim for the rest of the movie. This is like, what, 40... How far are we in?
We're only an hour in.
59 minutes in, Zim gets taken out of drill sergeant. Not even a movie, not in the movie anymore. And at the end, when they lose the bug, Zim's the one who captures it. And then he's like, yo, sir, you did a great job. He's like, I'm a private. And shows him his badge on the side. Zim has been busted down to a private. That's what you call full circle. You got character development all around. And this guy just comes back. And, what was it, Ironsides? He's the teacher, right?
Michael Ironsides is the teacher
and then
in his high school.
His lieutenant at the end, near the end of the movie, right? And then he takes his job.
He dies, right?
That's great. Yeah, he does. No, Rico kills him.
Because he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he's like, I expect you to do the same for me. If I ever get in trouble, shoot me. He loses his legs, and he's like, you know what to do, Rico!
That's right.
And thank you, Ironsides, for doing that role, because you were a bad guy in every 80s movie I ever saw. and now you're a good guy. He was in Total Recall. He was. You ever watch Highlander? That second one?
It's unfortunately haven't.
It's terrible. Don't say unfortunately. It's terrible. Highlander 1 is cool. You got these guys with samurai swords cutting heads off. Highlander 2 is science fiction bullshit. Nothing is explained. Everything's different. They shouldn't call it Highlander 2. They should call it Highlander Another Story because they mess everything up. Oh, Christopher Lambert. That's the guy, right? Christopher Lambert? Yeah. Oh, man. There can only be one.
And then I laugh. Well, I don't know why I said laugh. What's the guy's name who helped Rico out? Inman? No.
In what?
Starship Troopers. The guy you just mentioned who ripped up the papers.
Drill Sergeant Zim.
Drill Sergeant Zim is in my favorite show of all time.
Which is?
Lost.
What?
He plays Kelvin Inman. And if anyone knows what I'm talking about, that is Desmond's partner in the hatch before everything happens, who ends up blowing his face off with a rifle. And that's the blood splatter you see up on the roof of the hatch. That's this guy. So lots of people.
Did you recognize him when you saw him? You did. Okay. Yep. Yeah, there you go.
I just had to go.
You didn't remember when you watched Lost, though. When you watched Lost, you didn't. Did you remember him too?
No, because you're younger then.
Yeah. Okay.
So
makes sense.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
But no, it was. I mean, I've been having fun rewatching this. I'm having more fun rewatching this movie than I am with Fifth Element.
For shame. My erection is still. I mean, my arousal for the movie is still 100% there. I mean, all the blood rushing to my brain while I watch this movie. Stimulating. Very stimulating.
All right.
Let's get into the Fifth Element, man. Starship Troopers is an awesome movie.
We can.
Sad, full with love. You know what it is? It makes me smile. It makes me laugh, and it gets you involved. So that's all I want to say about Starship Troopers. I mean, that movie, it has everything. Love story, army, people fighting for a cause, purpose. It's all there. And
I don't disagree. I think there's a great story, a great. Your girlfriend said earlier. I almost said wife.
Yeah. You can say wife. She's been together long enough. Whatever.
All right, your wife.
Yeah.
My wife.
She
said a lot of foreshadowing.
Oh yeah. Oh, the whole movie.
And that whole movie about stuff.
Every other line's a foreshadow, man. I'm telling you. The one of my biggest pet peeves about movie is wasted dialogue, and by wasted dialogue I mean, talking about stuff that doesn't matter just to set a scene that doesn't matter. It just sucks. This movie could be easily 4 hours long, but they've consolidated it into, what is it, 2 hours? 2 hours, 9 minutes? Including credits. So, there's no wasted dialogue in this movie. There's not one line that's wasted. It's like, they have, 7 people to follow in the movie. It's like, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. It's one after the other, and it may feel rushed, but it's not. It's all...
No, I will agree with that.
Right?
Okay.
You see that?
I agree.
That's my favorite part of movies is when you have a scene set up for a purpose. I'm going to teach you Johnny Rico's, arrogance. I'm going to teach you Johnny Rico's humility. I'm going to teach you Johnny Rico's resilience. It's all fucking there. His character development
Language, please.
There. I'm so sorry. It's all freakishly there. And it's I'm sorry, I got excited. You see me? I'm sweating.
You're totally allowed to swear. I was just joking.
Okay, no, I just lost myself in Rico. Casper Van Diem. So it's all there. His whole development is all there, and every one of the characters around him feed off of him. There's great dialogue. There's not one wasted scene in that movie. I can't think of one wasted scene in that movie. And even if a scene sounds like it's gonna be wasted, where the guy brings her coffee, the asteroid shows up right then and there.
Yeah, it does. The plot is always moving.
It's always moving. Yeah. That's a great tool, man. It's like a machine.
Because that's
a Nazi machine. Efficient.
It's not that it's efficient. It's like they really went through this movie with an intention of blitzkrieg.
Blitzkrieg. Not familiar.
That's what the Germans did to advance.
Really?
They call it blitzkrieg. It's a lightning fight. You just move. Don't stop on your enemy.
And that is another going right back to the Nazi regime. It's just influence, run by. Oh my god.
Welcome to the podcast about Germany and how we wish we had one species throughout the entire world.
Not the. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're right. You're right.
Welcome to our Reich, the podcast.
We don't at all support what the Nazi regime did, but their ideals, you cannot lie, are pretty. Their goals and objectives are pretty clear. So it's not the worst.
All right, and now we're gonna jump to a different topic, so we don't continue on that.
See how can he France?
We're gonna jump over to the Fifth Element. Yeah. So no, I got a water, so I'm good. A little bit of a different film, and as I said earlier, it's one that I did not feel the same watching this time around.
Oh no!
And the other night at dinner, we talked about it briefly, but we'll go into more detail now. So before we get into anything, let's talk about what the movie is.
Yes.
The opening scene I found awesome.
Luke Perry, really? He's the guy the bodyguard that's protecting the
young guy that pulls the gun out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that scene I enjoyed tremendously because obviously we're having a science fiction film, so you have to make me understand what's happening. So we go to Egypt or Cairo, I think, in 1918.
Yes.
And we are learning hieroglyphics.
Yep.
We are learning that there are 4 elements, as we know: earth, wind, fire, and water.
Water, yep.
And from these hieroglyphics, we learn that there is a 5th element, a supreme being.
Yep.
And these 5 together will combat evil incarnated to save the world. Now, that's all we actually know, and we learn that these people are in contact with this alien race, and I guess they just look like giant pigs standing upright.
The Montechians. You know what's funny? I'm going to jump right in here. The first thing that the scientist is like looking at the wall. He's like, Aziz Light! That
Aziz
guy,
Light!
That guy, he turns around because he's not noticing that he thinks the shadows are Aziz, not with the light. It's the Montechians.
So these aliens came to Earth to collect the stones because they're unsafe.
And open the door that he's reading. He's reading the door and they come through. But the first thing, when they come up to him and they push him out of the way, the first thing he says to them, he whispers it. He goes, "Are you German?"
Yes.
He thinks that they're German, machines.
Shit, we can't get away from
Nazis, man! We can't get away from it.
We can't get away from this at all.
Are you German? Because they're all steampunked and steaming.
Yeah.
The Montechians.
God damn it, this really is a German episode. Did you know this when you wanted to do these 2 films, that they were going to have this high of an impact of German influence?
No, I didn't think at all. Actually, I'm sort of German. My family's descendants, my mom's side, are German, which is weird.
Did they come from Buenos Aires?
They came from Germany and they probably went to South America and then traveled. I'm telling you, man, there's some stuff going on. They escaped and here I am.
Well, I'm 99.3% German.
Okay, so we're let's just
look at the last name, Ruoff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had a German last name. This is
No, you don't. Trust me. It's a weight to bear.
Yeah, is it
really? It's a burden. Sam always wants to take the burden from me, but I get jealous and I don't want to give the ring away. Which is another German goddamn reference. Okay, let's continue. We have too much German stuff going on.
We should just wear the uniforms. We should just do it. Oh my god. Let's drop the Nazi flag. So you were saying the movie started with the Montechians.
We come in, they take the stones away, and they said we'll be back in 500 years.
Because there's a galactic war, they said, and they had to take the stones because they weren't safe on Earth.
I don't know why they took them from us.
They said that they weren't safe on Earth, but who goes to Earth? No one goes to Earth. No aliens went to. Maybe they were just trying to protect us.
Who knows? But they took them.
They took them.
And they said we'll be back when evil comes back.
In 5,000 years.
So
300 years, I think it was.
Which then all of a sudden, bam, brings us to present day.
Present day.
We got Bruce Willis.
Flying cars.
He is a former military man who is now retired because the military ruined his marriage, and now he's a taxi cab driver who can't stay away from driving tickets.
Yeah, can't do it. 3 points left on his license.
And we also find out that we are no longer do we have countries, we just have the Federation on Earth, and there's one president.
The Federation.
I know.
Just like the Federation of Starship Troopers. On behalf of the Federation.
We have the worst president in the history of the world because he does nothing.
He really does. He sweats a lot.
He sweats a lot.
Doesn't even wear a tie. He wears like a workout shirt.
Everyone else does everything for him.
Yeah.
Everyone else does everything.
Yeah.
And they learn that this group is coming back, and the way they find out about it is because this out of nowhere this ball somewhere in the universe forms, and that's the evil incarnate. And I don't understand the metaphor for it. I don't know if you do. But there's just this giant planet-sized ball that's just pure evil. And it's going to collide with Earth to cause destruction.
I think it's the whole... And I like this. It's cheesy and cliche. But I think it's the whole nature balancing itself out. When you have evil, you have good to balance it out. And those are the two like themes, because everything falls into good or evil. Nothing really walks that gray line except for Grey Jedi. But kind of like we're like Zelda, like whenever Ganon appears, Link has to appear, and Zelda.
Like
the
balance of the universe.
The balance of the universe keeps coming back. So I think that's what it is, because like that, the supreme being is asleep, and so is the evil. Like when one gets out of balance, you know, the other one has to rise up and meet it. So I think that's what it means. You know, I think that's what it's going for.
And that's why we need multi-passes.
Lilu Dallas. Oh my gosh, she's so hot.
So it's gonna come to Earth. We find it, and because of that, those aliens are coming back to Earth with the stones.
Yep.
They get shot down by this weird pig-looking race, Mangalores.
Yep.
And in an attempt to recover the stones, we recover part of the statue of the fifth element, and we reconstruct her from a hand.
Yes.
And that's what turns into Lilu.
Oh my gosh, she's the perfect being. Oh my gosh, she's so perfect.
So, and that's kind of where our story really picks up from there, because she escapes, she falls into Bruce Willis's cab, and
starts
the
speaking.
plot
Yeah,
goes from there.
Speaking a crazy language.
I guess one of my biggest not knowing what's happening with this movie is this giant planet that's going to destroy us. Why does it make people bleed oil from their forehead?
Yeah, everyone asks the same thing.
I don't know why that happens.
Yeah.
And I want to say something, but I can't because you haven't seen the movie. So I can't reference it to that to try to make a connection, so I won't go there.
Should I cover my ears?
No.
Okay.
No. I guess there's just a lot about I don't understand why it talks with our villain. I'll put quote unquote villain. Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah.
Why it talk like at one point it's gobbling up all the satellite communication dishes in the universe.
Yep.
And you hear the president say, "Well, why is it gobbling up all of our communication satellites?"
Maybe it wants
and then Gary Oldman's phone rings.
Yeah.
And it's the planet talking to him over the phone.
Yeah, the scientist goes, maybe he wants to make a call.
and then he literally does.
Zorg's office.
So why, like, in these types of things, and this is another problem. So these are the problems I have with this movie, is one, why is a planet physically calling someone?
So I believe that Gary Oldman's character, John Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg, what? I can't know trivia?
No, it's not that. I'm thinking to the point where he calls the priest to his office.
Yeah.
And he's standing, looking out the window, and he goes, "John Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg."
Because he goes, "Who?"
And then all of a sudden the priest goes, "Oh, yes, I do know you.
You are the art dealer. You are the art dealer." I think that Zorg is the epitome of human, like, evil, greed, you know, like vanity. He has it all. He has like his supplies, like his art all over his office. He has all these machines. He has this protruding tower in the middle of the city while everyone is living in these tiny ass little apartments. His office
Tony Stark.
is 10 times bigger than Corbin Dallas's apartment. His office alone, and his building is huge. So I think he's just all these, like, you know, horrible things about humans rolled into one. There's a scene where his assistant comes up to him and says, "Hey, the board of directors thinks that the economy's crashing. We should fire 500,000 from one of the lower companies." He turns around and says, "Fire 1 million. Like, fire double what we already thought of, what scientifically is proven is going to work. Fire more than that because I'm greedy," basically. So that shows, that little scene right there, remember, no wasted dialogue. That little scene right there shows that he cares nothing for people in their struggle. So I would think that anybody in the world, that if I was a big death monster in the sky and I needed a human contact like a herald for Satan, that I would call John Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg in his office with the weird shovel and the gun inside.
John, this is why I love talking with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I have one problem with that.
Tell me.
And it's going to make sense because you said herald. It's almost like a prophet.
Yeah.
You don't care about them. They're just they do your dirty work for you.
I'm just a messenger.
Because by the time that this thing is flying through fucking space at Earth, it's going to destroy everything.
Yep.
And John Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg is going to be dead. He doesn't care about him overall. He just wants him to prevent the stones from being used.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wants them to pick up the stones and basically, but I think the scene where he's talking to the priest and he breaks the cup and he's talking about how, the priest is like, oh, I'm trying to save life. You just want to destroy it. He says, no, this is chaos. Chaos gives people meaning, gives people life, gives us things to do. It's an orchestra, a ballet, he calls it.
He drops the glass and the robots come out.
Look at all these little things. Yeah, look at all these little things. Throwing around. So he calls
all of them need engineers and programmers.
Yeah,
and
to feed their little children.
Yeah.
That voice is terrible. I like him as Sirius Black. That Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. He's like a country.
Well, it's because in Harry Potter he had, in my opinion, the greatest line that's ever spoken in the books or movies, and it's it's the last movie. Harry's about to face Voldemort in the woods, and his parents show up as a spirit. Sirius Black shows up, and what's the guy who turns into a werewolf? Remus shows up, and he looks at Sirius Black and he goes, "What does it feel like to die?" And he looks at Harry, and Sirius Black says, "Faster than falling asleep."
But he says it with such confidence.
Yes.
He takes the place of Harry's father.
It's such a beautiful line. Yeah. That, to me, I remember I was in a sold-out theater all by myself, and he said that line, and internally I went, yes, with fireworks, but my body went, I kind of threw an uppercut a little bit, because I was like, this is, yes! That's so well written.
It's an emotional scene, and the fact that I think that he took the place of Harry's father, because he's alive, obviously, he's Harry's godfather. He took the place for those 2 books / movies, and for him to say that to him, to comfort him, and the way he looked down at him, like with pride and with this gentle nature about him, you can almost believe that in real life, you can see Sirius Black being best friends with James Potter. James Potter saying like, "Hey, I want you to be the godfather of my son," and Sirius going, "Okay, I will accept the responsibility." You can almost see that it's real. Like the acting in that is so good from Gary Oldman that I felt like it's all real, like it's all true. It's not like, oh, it's just words. It was there. Sorry, we're getting off topic here.
Yeah. So back to Fifth Element, Zorg.
So
yeah, he's definitely a herald, a prophet, right? I'm going to do your dirty work so you can do what you do, and then you'll have your way with me.
Do you see that? Yeah.
I see it much more now.
I mean, he could have just got off planet, came back, and was like, I own everything.
Well, he did go off planet, and
he did.
That still failed horribly for him.
So bad. It's so bad.
So, and then, the Supreme Being has to find her way to the priest because the priest knows about the lore of everything.
Cornelius.
She has to find Bilbo Baggins, and she eventually does.
That's right. He's Bilbo Baggins.
So Lilu is his burden of the ring that he has to carry through this film. To me, overall, rewatching it, there's a lot unneeded dialogue, way too much.
Okay.
So when Harrison Ford wakes up and Harrison Ford, Bruce Willis.
Harrison Ford.
He goes to wake up. He opens up his door. There's the guy wearing the hat that looks like the hallway from a viewport.
Oh.
He's like, "Give me the cash! Give me the cash! Give me the cash!"
You don't like that?
Completely unneeded. So unneeded to the point where the guy doesn't know what he's doing after the gun's taken from him. I think from an acting perspective, I'm not a professional, so please, if I'm wrong, kick me in the shins. But I feel like they didn't know where to go with him after that, so he's just kind of standing in the hallway, like clapping his hands, snapping his fingers, dancing a little bit.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis starts like laughing at him, and it was so unneeded and didn't do anything for Bruce Willis's character.
I disagree. Respectfully.
Yeah, absolutely. Respectfully disagree all day long.
So here we go. The guy's behind the door with a hat that has a screenshot of the hallway empty. Bruce Willis opens the door. The guy pulls a gun on him, right?
Yeah.
Bruce Willis being a major, special forces in the army, he was able to convince the guy the gun wasn't loaded, made him press the button to turn it off, took the gun from him by pulling a gun of his own. It was already in his back pocket or whatever it was. With speed, he pulled it out to show his prowess in battle and his negotiation skills, his ability as a soldier to go over the lesser man. And you can tell when he takes the gun from the guy, he presses a button and this cartridge of other guns from other people that probably tried to rob him before comes down. And it shows that happens a lot because the neighborhood he lives in is a poor neighborhood. His hallway is full of that guy's like a crackhead, in New York, crackhead dancing. Hey, give me the cash. But it just shows like the his living situation, his peers around him, basically.
But so they do that twice then.
Yeah, with the smoke you. That guy.
Not that guy, but when the actual army shows up, when they rigged the competition to get him to go the Paradise Place to get the stones.
Yeah.
His general shows up and says all of that to him to fill in that backstory.
True.
It's like, out of all the most commended people on your squad, you're the one that has most medals. You're also the only one who's still alive.
Yeah.
And they start talking about how great of a warrior he was.
You're right.
So they do it twice. So, again, unneeded dialogue.
True. You're right. They probably didn't need to do that, but
because
they reinforced it. But they probably didn't need to. You're right.
And the president's like, we need your best man on this mission. We need to be as discreet as possible. Hey, I got the best guy I know.
Yeah.
He's been retired. He's not part of us anymore, and he drives a taxi. Don't worry, I'll make him save the world.
I got this. Yeah, basically.
So, a few things I had a problem with on that.
Yeah, like his abilities could have been shown throughout the rest of the movie, and they were. You saw when he had fought on the hotel, he fought all those guys, but like they did show he was good. I mean, they reinforced it like 3 or 4 times. You're right. I'll give you that. That was a wasted. It was funny though. But it was wasted dialogue. You're right.
And if you are probably going to disagree with me.
She's so hot.
Wasted dialogue. Ruby.
Bada bing, bada boom. What?
Ruby.
Oh yeah.
Talk about wasted dialogue.
The only thing that I love, and I'm gonna say love here as an adult, I was watching it again because I didn't realize this as a child. He's running a radio station, like a radio show for 2 hours, right, from 5 to 7. That's his radio station. So the whole world, the whole universe is hearing what's going on during this great battle.
Yes,
because he's doing a show. The president's watching, and he's like, "That's what you call discreet?" And he's like,
That character played the role to show the universe the extreme of the situation.
Yes.
Problem.
Yes.
The extreme of the situation that only concerns Earth.
Oh, yeah. Well, the ball of death was probably insatiable. Would have killed all the other planets, you know?
I don't know. I just...
Well,
coming, man.
Keep that in mind when you said that only the Earth is in trouble. We're gonna circle back full circle to that at the end. I want there's a topic I want to touch on.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're not gonna agree with, but we're gonna get to that.
Absolutely.
So where are we caught up to now?
We can just say we go to the boat where the stones actually are inside of a blue alien opera singer.
So before we get into that, you noticed that Lilu, the supreme being, is like a child, very innocent, very
because she was reborn through bioengineering.
She's been asleep for a long time, and like I bet she was very primitive back then, whenever she was alive. But
did you also like their computers for the future were like the MacBooks of 1995?
Yeah, the TVs too. They were like, oh, you can watch this. They were like black and white almost. But Lilu's character is played by Mila Jovovich. And I recently saw in a interview with her that she wasn't able to make the first casting for the movie.
Really?
Yeah, she wasn't. So she met the director or whoever it was who casted her. She met him at a hotel. She was walking by. I guess she was with a couple of friends for her birthday or something. She said she met the director in the lobby and she recognized him. She went over to him, started talking to him, told him that she wanted to be in the role, but she couldn't make it for whatever reason. And he asked her to come back the next day or so, or they set up an interview day. And, they went back to the hotel room, and he asked her specifically, I want you to do everything. This is the direction. I want you to do everything as if it was the first time you've ever done it. And that's how I'll choose the casting. So she had to pick up a cup of coffee for the first time, walk around the hotel room, look at things for the first time, and that's what that was his vision. So, whether it's her interpretation or not, I think that's a beautiful thing for a director to say, this is what I want from this character, the most important character, to be completely different. And to me, it showed her innocence, it showed her just her growth, And I thought that was impressive, man. I didn't think it was that simple. I thought it was this whole complex idea, which it is, but it stemmed from, this is the first time you do this. Your eyes must be seeing everything with stars, in them. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, chicken good.
Oh yeah, dude, food. How excited are you about eating food? Just no, just one after the other, insatiable hunger.
Yeah. I mean, she was great. There's no doubt in the movie she was the right person.
So hot
to play. It's not even that.
No, I know, but it's just hot.
She was just the right fit overall for that movie.
To me, I don't know if you see the movie this way. I see it as a noir, like a science fiction noir. You have like the damsel in distress. You have the old retired like army dude or the detective or whatever you want to call him. Corbin Dallas is that character. That's the base. She falls into his lap. He even calls her a dame, a fair, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And this every time he talks about it, there's always a saxophone playing, like that whole like that whole set the scene for like this amazing love at first sight, you know. But she's a damsel in distress, just like a noir is. And even when on the hotel when he pulls her down and he's holding her in her arms, you get that same feel, like he's like that whole detective, you know, trying to save the woman kind of thing going on. And I see it as a noir. That's why I think it's crazy that she played such an innocent character, because she is like that like 1920s like woman, like, you gotta help me, you gotta, you know. That's how I see it. I mean,
I don't want to,
yeah,
but I'm going to.
You gotta get on this plane. Maybe not be today, maybe not tomorrow.
But I mean, overall, we get her back to Earth with the stones.
Yep.
After a great opera song of fighting.
Great scene.
And we learn it's literally the elements that bring the stones to life with her in the middle.
Yes.
And this giant planet comes and she breathes out the brightest light you've ever seen from her entire body.
Yep.
While Bruce Willis holds her up.
Yep.
And it's love that allows it to happen.
Call him my man? Yeah.
It's just like the Matrix.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah.
And there has to be a kiss because that's true love, and true love is the most powerful thing in the universe.
Brings people back to life.
And then she stops the calamity from hitting Earth.
Yep.
Which then raises the question: is our original moon
another one of those?
the first form of that calamity that tried to destroy us?
It could be.
Is this the never-ending cycle of Legend of Zelda?
We're just gonna have so many moons just sitting around.
And did you know
the Majora's Mask moon? Yeah, the one that.
Did you know that the moon right now is actually slowing our planet down?
What?
Yeah.
Orbit?
Yeah.
That sucks.
So since we learned this, when I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson the other day, he was talking about it. 60s or 70s is when they learned this, and every year they put in a measurement into the calendar for time that allows time to kind of slow down through the calendars and the overall time.
Yeah.
So if you think about holding a ball, but put it in a bag, like a shopping bag.
Yep.
If you hold it right by the ball, you can spin it really quick in your hands. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of strength that you need.
Yeah.
But the more you do that, it's going to pull out.
Yep.
Because of gravity. Yep. So as you keep doing that, your hand keeps going farther down the bag to where the loops are. And as you keep spinning it, it becomes harder because there's more force.
Yep.
That's what our moon's doing around us. So we're rotating, and the moon's rotating around us, and it's actually going farther and farther out. So it's eventually going to get to the point where it's the force that we have to do to pull the moon to us while it's doing its rotation is slowing our rotation down.
So that begs the question.
The moon is bad for us.
Yeah, but
what's it going to do to the tides the farther away it gets?
Oh, it's going to make them more aggressive. But that begs the question, though. Was the moon always there? Or can they, like, since they know how much time it's decreased us, like, how... when
we don't know how much time they start in the 60s or 70s.
It's slowing us down, though, so it must have been a point in time where it just came in. I mean, why would it change orbit unless the density of something changed?
It's not changing orbit, though.
I mean, like, if it's gotten heavier and swinging farther?
Yeah.
That must mean it must have came in.
This is physics.
Oh, true. I just feel like something might have started it moving farther and farther.
It's crazy to think of, though, that the moon's slowing our planet down.
It is a crazy-ass theory.
And eventually that moon's going to get so far out, at one point it's going to rotate, goodbye.
When it gets...
And it's just going to go.
Shoot off, but that's what I mean. Like, when did it come in and start the rotation?
Oh, who the hell
and then
knows?
shoot back out, you know what I mean?
We'll never know.
Something started that orbit, something. We didn't just... it wasn't just there to start with.
No, it could have been the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Could be a big chunk of rock that went up. Mm-hmm. It could be the calamity that we just actually don't realize that's a real thing.
Poor dinosaurs.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I had a hard time watching this movie.
Yeah.
As an adult, compared to when I was a kid. As a kid, you watch it with such open eyes.
Yeah, I still do, actually.
Well, the thing is, the tough part as you get older, and I do this with video games now, I do this with books, I do this with anything that has with imagination. As a kid, you're not exposed to the world. Yeah. You're very innocent to everything. So when you see something, your eyes and your mind open up so much.
Like little Dallas had to. Yeah.
But as we grow up and we experience life, we see more, we understand somewhat of what's actually going on around us. Yeah. And because of that, our mind becomes very narrow with what we're allowed to see. Mm-hmm. And I think because of life, I see this film very narrowly right now compared to when I was a kid.
Yeah, I try to make it a goal, like a mental goal, to keep my mind open so that I see things a little more fresh, or I don't have predisposed notions or have a narrow mind, because I'm afraid of that, because it feels like I would never be able to enjoy things ever again if I take things for what I assume them to be. You know, I want them to be what they are. So I don't know. I like this movie a lot still, and I can still watch it as an adult. But something to keep in mind, man. Keep an open mind.
Oh, tomorrow I'll be open-minded. There's no doubt about that at all when we go see Spider-Man.
So am I. I can even get bad reviews about a movie, and I'll still like watch it with eyes unclouded. You know, by bad reviews and hate.
So I do have some facts about Fifth Element.
Go for it.
So the hero, Bruce Willis, and the villain, I just have to say his name, Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg.
I think I know this one.
They never meet.
They never meet
the entire movie, nor do they communicate with each other in any way.
Nope.
They're aware of each other.
Yeah.
But they are unaware of the other's involvement in the main plot.
Exactly.
So, very weird to me. That's another thing that's kind of...
It's confusing because when he pulls Lilu out, when Corbin pulls Lilu out of the room that she had the fight scene in, and he runs out to the right, Zorg comes in from the left.
Yep.
And he disarms the bomb. So you think, like, oh, they must have seen each other. No, they don't. They don't.
Never have.
But Zorg does fire him through the company. You are fired. Remember when he opens up the letter?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only interaction that they have, but it's not.
I mean, that firing of Corbin Dallas is what gets him free lunch.
Yeah, it does.
Corbin, honey, you're ever gonna call your mother? Do you even care about me anymore? I can think you're dead over there. You're not even gonna take me on the trip with you.
You need me to freeze on the moon. She was living on the moon. Yeah, wasn't she? That's what she said. I think so. Weird.
The explosion at the Foston main hall on that indoor cruise was the largest indoor explosion ever filmed.
Wow.
When he's behind that bar.
Really?
And things are blowing up. The resulting fire almost went beyond control.
Oh, shit.
So that's pretty crazy to think of.
Yeah. Well, thank you for not making CGI fire. That's
yes, very true.
It's always a plus.
When the president tells Father Vito Cornelius that he has 20 seconds to state his point, he actually only talks for 20 seconds.
No, it seems like it's longer. We gotta watch it again. I'm gonna time
check that out though.
I got a G-Shock. I'm timing that.
Oh, is that your watch?
Yeah.
The G-Shock.
Oh yeah, it has a timer on it. It has like global satellite positions, whatever. No, it doesn't.
I'm just trying to find some more interesting ones. Okay, interesting.
It was a novel.
Tell me who you think this is.
Okay.
Who's the finger?
What?
The finger.
The finger.
It says in this that a specific actor provided the voice of the finger, but didn't receive any on-screen credit.
The finger.
I don't know who the finger is.
The finger.
It makes me think that that's the planet.
Could it be that stupid little pig thing that Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg had in his office?
Not when I tell you
Zorg. That's way too long.
Not when I tell you who did the voice of Finger.
The guy who did Optimus Prime.
Vin Diesel.
No.
Dom Toretto.
Did the what?
That's what it's saying.
Oh, could it have been the Mangalores?
If there's war they want, it's war they'll get.
I don't know.
It sounds
I'll have to
like
look up who Finger is in just a
remember when they
second.
were in the Opera House?
Yeah.
He was like, they will not pay for the revenge will come
I
swiftly.
don't know. I'm
what
not sure.
The fush? I know there was Aknot and Arknit. They had stupid names. Couldn't be the Finger. Why would they be?
They're shapeshifters. That's all I know about them.
So weird.
And that Zorg turned his back on him, and that's so. As a kid, I always said to myself, "How come they were working with Zorg, but now against him?" Yeah. And I realized watching this time, it's because Zorg didn't get the stones, and then I remember he had the weird moment in that tunnel, which is a horrible set, by the way.
Yes.
Talking to his guy, and he's just like, "You know what I like? I like a killer, a cold-blooded killer. And he goes, and the real warrior would ask about the red button on the gun.
Red button on the side of the
and
gun.
then it's a self-destruct, so he tried to kill all of them, and that's why they go after the stones to stab Zorg in the back.
Yeah, it was a bad deal going... Dude, noir. It's a noir film. The gang
That's a good point.
and the leader went bad. My favorite line from him is in that tunnel, but he says it so fast that you can't get it in that stupid accent. I was telling Evelyn about it.
Yeah.
He says something... Right before he says what you said, which is great, he says something like... He goes, was it hope? Not hope. What was it? Honor. Because he said, it's honor. It's all about honor. He says, honor. Can't stand honor. Honor gets people killed. Never save the goddamn life. You know what I do like, though? Killer. Cold-blooded killer. That's what he says. Because they're all about honor. But he says it so fast.
That's a good... Thank you for calling it.
Right?
It was fast.
But it was a great... That's a short and sweet monologue. But he says it so fast, it doesn't make any sense.
True.
But that's great, though. Because they're all like, we will not live with this honor.
Good point.
Right?
The wonder on Bruce Willis's face when he hears the diva sing is real.
What?
That was the first time he ever heard that song.
Who?
Bruce Willis.
Really?
With the opera song, that's the first time he ever heard it.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's
which is pretty.
That's a setup, and that's a great setup because you capture real life. I heard that Gene Wilder in the Chocolate Factory.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that when he did that thing in the tunnel, where he started just mouthing this crazy stuff off, that all the actors that were there, the kids and the parents, they didn't know that he was going to do that. Where he's like, there's no signs of slowing, and the things will be showing. When he starts flipping out, when they're in the tunnel, remember he has that monologue?
Yeah.
They didn't know that he was going to do that. They just thought it was going to be a tunnel ride, and that's it. They didn't tell them. Gene Wilder knew. He said he was going to do that, but they didn't. Nobody else knew. And the flip too in the beginning, it's all improvised. So when everyone saw that, it was real. When he came in on crutches and then did the flip, that was all real to the audience, to the people that were supposed to be the audience, the kids and the parents.
That's interesting.
Isn't that great?
Gary Oldman played Zorg as a cross between then presidential candidate Ross Perot and Bugs Bunny.
No.
Yeah.
I see it now. Oh.
You said no incorrectly, by the way.
No.
I am the Senate. I never saw that coming.
Let's see if there's anything else that's really cool. Oh, the movie was supposed to have been a trilogy. Luc Besson had 3 scripts that he condensed into one.
Yeah.
So if this movie was probably spread out, probably would be a little better.
Yeah, they probably would have had more to like just character development. I can see that happening. I like the movie. It makes me smile, it makes me laugh. Like I'm like there with them the whole ride. I think it's a great movie.
Wow, they got a lot of.
I think they did that in Ghostbusters too. Dan Aykroyd wrote a script for 3 movies, and he had to consolidate them.
Interesting.
I heard they were really good. From what I hear, Dan Aykroyd is an amazing writer. Like he's full of detail, full of storytelling. Like it's really good stuff. But for Hollywood, and I think Ghostbusters was supposed to be a more serious film than it already was. I think it was. First and second, they were pretty serious. I mean, come on, Vigo from Warlord from the Past comes back and just takes over New York. That's a pretty serious concept, but it was a funny movie. It was supposed to have humor in it, but I think it was supposed to be more serious than what it already was.
So another one of these facts that
I am Zool
is interesting is I don't think they told Bruce Willis anything about this movie.
They just let
when
it all
Corbin first meets Lilu and she starts talking to him in her language, the director didn't tell Bruce Willis what was actually going to be said to him, so all of his reactions are real.
I can see that now.
Yeah.
I just thought he was a good actor. That didn't work. That's cool.
Jean Reno was originally the choice for the part of Corbin Dallas.
Jean Reno.
Yeah, John Reno, my bad.
Jean Reno. You can say I just like saying it like he says it.
Gary Oldman is such a good friend with the director. He took part without reading the script, doing this film to repay for his partially financing his film Nil by Mouth in 1997.
I've never heard of that.
So that's kind of interesting. He just kind of went into it. That's pretty neat.
Well, if Jean Reno and Gary Oldman did a film, it would have been Leon the Professional Part 2 in the future.
That's very true. This film took place in 1914 and in 2263.
Jesus.
So
that's a big jump. And that's cool, too, because it goes to show that the human race changed so much in that little bit of time. not a little bit of time.
And to go with your fact, Mia Jovovich
So hot.
beat out 3,000 women who auditioned for the role of Lilu.
3,000? That's a long time to cast
That's
somebody
a lot of casting
to find
for that role.
the most perfect Supreme Being because she's perfect. That's a long time, and I'm glad they took the time and didn't just say, "Hey, we'll just know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody." Hey, it's turning out to a nice day.
Yeah, it's good. I can feel it starting to get warm.
Look at that tropical paradise. That's Rhode Island for you.
Yeah. All right, so we kind of talked about 2 science fiction films. A lot of facts.
So
A lot of stuff going on.
I want to circle back to what you were saying before about human, the Earth being the only person, the only way.
Go back to this.
So you touched base on what I was going to say. You said that love was what enabled the great weapon to stop the great evil, right?
Yep.
The Fifth Element was able to use Corbin Dallas's love, which is a great scene, man. It's corny as hell. She's like, I don't know love. I don't know love. I was built to protect, not to love, which gets me every time. I mean, like Gary Oldman did to you with fireworks in my body. Love is what helped stop the great evil. So if you think that the Earth was devoid of love because of all technology and all that stuff, and then that evil appeared again, if you're a warlord, if you're this evil being, if you're going to destroy creation, I think you would start with the thing that is most damaging to you, the thing that's a threat to you. If I was like Genghis Khan, I'd go after the first person that could stop me. Because Marco Polo. Because if you give them time to group, gain alliances and all that stuff, you give your enemy power. You have to take out the strongest guy first. It's like being in jail. Take out the strongest guy. Not that I would know. Take the strongest guy out first. So I think that's why I went after Earth first, and all the other planets didn't really matter. In science fiction, it's common that they use love as the greatest thing that humans can provide. Humans are always weak. They always have less technology. Hope and love are the 2 things that make us strong in all science fiction, usually. Mm-hmm. That's how it's told. So I think that's why they went after Earth first. That's why Earth was the biggest threat. And I think that's why the other planets didn't really have a problem, up front, because Earth was the target. Earth was, love can destroy evil, basically. That's why he went after them. And I think it would have become a problem for the rest of the universe if Earth was destroyed first. Human love and human resilience, determination, and hope is a threat to every evil in the universe. Always. Right? Am I right?
I see where you're going.
Right? So that's why I think it was a galactic problem, but Earth was the first target, because Earth was, first of all, where the Supreme Being was. And the Supreme Being was not complete without love. Oh my God, that is the theme. Oh my God. See, it's happening as we speak. Twice today.
It is.
It happened twice. Minds blown by our conversations. You know what, listeners? Conversation is the best tool for intellect, discussion. Podcasts are the tools. This is what you need in life. This is a beautiful thing. Tim,
you need to get into more podcasts.
I thank you. I thank you for this.
I need to get you into more podcasts.
I'm stimulated right now. I am sweating, and I am stimulated mentally, physically.
So it's not just me during the.
No, it's not you. I have the energy too. I'm involved. I'm involved. This is a beautiful thing you do. This is a great job. We need. Oh my God, this is awesome. I thank you for this. I cannot thank you enough for this. I'm gonna buy you tacos.
That is true. So tomorrow we're gonna have. We're both going to end up in the bathroom tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. Because we're going to multiple taco places to eat throughout Providence.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you guys live in Rhode Island, the California Taco is a great place to go for taco. The greatest place. Tortilla Flats is a great place. And Tallulah's Tacos, if we can get there. Pricey, but amazing. And I took a real Mexican person there, and she loved it. Authentic. She did. She was like, "This is just like home," and I said, "Okay, let's go."
No, laughing at the fact that you said a real Mexican.
A real Mexican. I didn't. That sounded racist. I'm sorry. I know we did a lot of Nazi things today, but I respect all cultures and races. I respect the human race above all else.
All right. Well, John, thank you so much for joining me
having
again. Thank you for allowing me to make the 5.5-hour drive to Providence only to record the podcast.
Only for this. Nothing else.
I appreciate that.
And tacos.
And tacos.
Yes.
And Spider-Man.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great. I enjoyed this more than the first, but the first was my favorite thing in the world. This tops it. So doing it more feels so much better. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like having sex. Yes.
And it doesn't end as quickly.
It never does. It never. Yeah, I know. But you know what? Do you know what's funny? This is the second time I do this. This is the second time that I miss Kevin. People are gonna start to think.
That's true.
People are gonna start to think that I am Kevin, but like it's Bruce Wayne Batman kind of thing because we're never in the same room together. I'd like to disprove that theory now. I'm not Kevin. He's a great man. I can only aspire to be Kevin.
That is true. You aren't Kevin.
Kevin!
And this is the second time that you're on that Kevin's not here.
Kevin, when I yell your name, I do it like Kevin McAllister. Kevin! Kevin!
Well, as always, you can find us on iTunes at the Screen Talkers Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at Screen Talkers Podcast. On the gram of Insta, at Screen Talker Podcast, all one word. And Podbean at screentalkers.podbean.com. Many different ways to find us. Thanks for listening. And do you have anything last thing you want to say? Any words of wisdom or anything?
I just really hope that I changed your outlook on The Fifth Element even a little
You did.
bit.
You did.
Yes.
I think talking about it with you is more enjoyable than me watching it.
This is intimacy. This is what this is.
So
you and I conversating, conversions.
Oh, and I did have one last thing I needed to pitch. In a few days, we will be recording a Star Wars episode. Kevin will be on this episode, and I am having two people over who are probably two of the biggest Star Wars fans and knowledge base for Star Wars I've ever known in my entire life, who will be joining me and Kevin for a big discussion on all the films. So please look forward to that this upcoming week. It will be out by the end of next week, which I don't have a date in mind because I don't even know what today is. Today's the 15th, so it's going to be out approximately by the 21st on all areas that we publish our podcast. So thanks for listening. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And as always, please wash your hands.